Hello everyone, my name is Jorge Espinosa. This is a very special occasion in this YouTube channel because, as you can see in your screen, we have the release of the first of three parts of the greatest TTV interview which I made during the past 2 months. Yeah, why I need to introduce this in this way? Because I consider this is a very important moment to only talk behind of an image or give a little written prologue. As a Bionicle fan, I understand the importance of these creators and his long life career. A 10 years career is not a single thing. So, the news about the cancellation of TTV Channel in the next year as part of his 10th anniversary is a special occasion. As Mesos told me in the interview, they want to make an special ending, not only an ending. So, I hope you can enjoy the first part of the tier of 3. Also, prepare yourself to hear about Bionicle by Bionicle fans and know the history behind the TTV podcast since his humble beginnings in BC Power to nowadays in his YouTube channel, also in his own platform, the TTV message board. Thank you so much for the attention and enjoy the video. Let me put the recorder and you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a very special interview for this channel. Nowadays, if you are a Bionicle fan, maybe you know the situation of TTV podcast. So, in a very, this is a very special program because we, after thinking on the situation, me and the staff, we decided it would be good have with us the TTV podcast. Let me introduce our very our our very special guest. So we are with Mesonac
Hello,
and
I'm Mesa.
with LJ. Welcome to this channel. So where is LJ?
Hello.
Okay, nice. It's an incredible honor. Stay with 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 both or yeah. It's time to start. Okay. Let me talk about the interview form. So we will have three parts, and our first block we're gonna speak about Bionicle and why why it's so important for 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 the creation of TTB and for very and the very special moment for you. So the first question is, would you describe us how you discover Bionicle toys?
Well, it was a long time ago, and it was a dark and stormy night, and I was 4 years old, and I was hungry. I was very hungry. I was wanted food, and my mother was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I was like, McDonald's. And so we went to McDonald's and I got a Happy Meal toy of a little funny looking guy with a disc. I forget who was first. I think it may have been Kongu. It was either Kongu or Matora, but it was one of the two. And that, as they say, is history. From there, I recognized Bionicle when we next went shopping. I think it was a Kmart store. And I got a few Toa, then I got a few Taraga. Then I got all the Toa. And that, as we said, was that. I was pretty well and truly hooked. What about you, LJ?
Oh, I think my day was actually dark and stormy. No, it was bright. It was daytime, but it might have been actually stormy. And we, as just kind of a family, went to a nearby toy store in a city I was living in at the time, known as Palo Alto. And I was like looking around, just seeing if there was anything I was interested in, and nothing was interesting me. And eventually I laid my eyes on a Galak Kal. And I'm really genuinely not sure what year it was. It was either really, really early 2003 or really, really late 2002, because where I lived, it was known for getting Bionicle sets extremely early, like sometimes as early as November of the year before their release. And I got that and went home and had some help building it. And I don't remember my next Bionicle set. I just remember being extremely excited about the theme and going to a different toy store in another city and just being hooked. I was there for the rest of it.
Okay, so both of you have this very thing in common. You discovered Bionicle in his early years.
Yeah. Yep. Almost from the beginning for me.
I was
Okay,
literally
so
from the beginning, which means I'm more of a true fan than LJ.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
yeah, okay. I will be honest with with you guys. I remember during the elementary school, I saw the McDonald's TV spot of Bionicle. I remember it was a promotion. Yes, this was a Happy Meal with Bionicle and Hello Kitty.
Mhm.
But
Oh.
I won't pay attention to the toys until one day visit one of my cousins and my grandma. I seen a Gallocal toy. I say, what? I asked to my cousin, hey, 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 guy, what kind of toy is this? Looks very amazing. And he told me, it's a robot. You can, it's a, now it's a sphere, but you can blend his arms and his legs and can move his head as a hen. And yes, he attacked with his head.
Iconic. We love that. The
And
Bo
see,
Rock are great.
Yeah,
did you interact with a Galak or Galak call, was it?
Gallocal.
There we go. See,
Uh,
Meso? We're part of a
so
of the cool kids club.
yeah,
Mm.
Galcal boys.
Heck
So
yeah.
also I remember when during the early years I discovered Bionicle and I feel it was amazing because it's different than Transformers and other robots. I can build the toy, I can play with the toy, I can build other toys, but the good part of all is uh I don't remember very well when was, but the Mask Fly live movie it was released, and even in those days in Mexico, it was very easy find the Borok Toamada, Toa Nuba, yeah, because some toy stores and some department stores have the sales section with the toys in market at sales or the very last sale because or please give that in the give, bring a home to these toys and we need a space. Well, yes, it was a very cool. It, it was amazing those days. So
Absolutely.
speaking about the early days and other stuff, what is what is your opinion about the Bionicle fan base during the early or most specifically when you was involved with the Bionicle fan base community?
Well, I'm probably not the best one to answer because one of my great regrets is that I did not actually get a computer with functioning internet to even find out there was a Bionicle community until late 2008. And then I joined the fan website bzpower.com, and I pretty much only had 1 year to enjoy the Bionicle community before it was canceled, which I'm sad about. I wish I had had a bit of a longer time. From the time I was there, I really liked it because it was fun to find other people, my age or a little bit older, that really liked the same thing I enjoyed. I think the only problem was that the Glatorian in 2009 weren't really too popular. I feel like a lot of people were very critical of them. Meanwhile, I, who was just coming into the community, was like, these are the greatest things ever. They have elements again. They're like their weapons actually look like they belong to their respective elements. This is so cool. And then a lot of people were just like, no, these aren't the Toa, so I hate them. That whole thing. But LJ can speak to it a bit more than me because he was there for many years prior.
Yeah, no, I joined the community a lot earlier than Meso did. I was aware of the biggest Bionicle community hub site, BZ Power, from very, very early on because I was getting on the computer and looking at Bionicle related things almost from word go. That's where I found the Bionicle animations, like the Monog animations, the Borak animations, and so on. And if you were a Bionicle fan on the internet in the early 2000s, there was a very high likelihood you knew of BZ Power. That's where Greg Farshty was. That's where a whole lot of stuff was happening. So in kind of mid to late 2005, I ended up joining BZ Power, and I got to be a part of the community for a great many years on that website, and it was a blast. Like there was constantly stuff happening. It was almost always an adventure. BZP had this very unique culture unto itself, where you had these very well-defined sections of the website that had their own histories and backstories. You had the comics form, you had the comedies form, you had storyline and theories. It was just an incredibly active website, and there was so much to do and so much to enjoy almost all the time. So in the early days of Bionicle, when it was still running, the fan base was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, I know it. So my personal case, um, did you remember the cars which was included with the Bucky toys? With the
Yes,
Kanohi
Kanoka
points?
Club.
Yes, Kanoha Club. My father helped me to join to the Kanoka Club. I'm in those days, so I will join very early, but I don't have interaction with any other Bionicle fan um, until YouTube and the high school, because in the junior high in Mexico we have 3 years of junior high. Oh, I met a guy called Oscar who was a very crazy student and was a good friend of mine. He told me, "Did you like Bionicle?" I said, "Yes, I love it." And he showed me how he make mocks with animated topics. Also, he invented a weird history about two Bionicles who have a children. When the other guys question about the situation, say, "Hey, you put two Bionicles, but you show in the photo there are three, and you hidden the third one." No, 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 you are a liar.
Not
Also,
how it works.
yeah, also I remember it was very rare found someone who collect Bionicles or know about the Bionicle history. Even
Yeah.
for a former Mexican comic book press called Mundo Beat published the until yes almost the Bionicle comics until the Piraka. They only publish the first saga and the very last Metro Nui saga. Yes, but the final number of Metro Nui saga never was is missed because they
Really?
canceled it. Yes, they canceled the series because the this press is is the most famous case of bankruptcy in Mexico,
Oh wow.
dang.
and
So you
they
didn't even
say
get to finish Metro Nui? Oof.
yes, they finished the whole series before the Tower Toa assault and the introduction of the Piraka saga.
Wow.
But yes, but the most impressive thing for me, or the most amazing, it was this during the my dad always insist me for good reasons I learn English. He told me, did you know there are lots of bionicle and dinosaur material in English, and you will like all, or you will love all this stuff. You will love it. I remember during my junior high day, during the final days of the elementary school and the first of junior high, I discovered the Bionicle communities on internet, all of them in English. I only download the images, play the games on the Bionicle.com website, but until high school, the junior high, I entered to the Latino Bionicle community. It was big, not huge as DC Power, Mask of Destiny, but you can find people who love Bionicle, and you can talk with those people. Some of
That's
them of your
fantastic.
own, yes, some of them of your own country, your own city, but no one speak about a meeting. No one speak about to do an activity. But nowadays, yeah, maybe this is for another point. I almost release an spoiler, but continue. Okay, so we will you all of the so we grow up in a very interesting stage of the Lego Toys brand, because was a lot of experimentation. There was a lot of original ideas, or original idea product, or idea project, I don't know, but we have Knights of Kingdom, X-Force, Galidor, later Ninjago, and Nexo Knights. So if you compare these toys with Bionicle, and you what which factors you consider make Bionicle unique to and different than Nexonite, X-Force, Galidor, Knights of Kingdom, even Ninjago?
LJ, do you want to take this one first?
Sure, yeah. I think the scale at which Bionicle and its story was at, the scale and the depth of the world, I think, are what really set it from the other themes apart. The one that comes closest is Ninjago, because Ninjago has this very expansive world that just recently got even bigger with the release of Dragons Rising. So there's a lot for people to really engage with when it came to Bionicle. And I think that's one of the reasons that I find myself very partial to the early years, because Lego created a very thorough sandbox for you to place your adventures in that don't necessarily conflict with the story, so you can feel more of a part of that world. And I think Lego did a really good job continuing that depth moving forward. And of course, the twist in the story that happened in 2008 just expanded the world even further. And I think Ninjago, while it does come the closest, and especially with Dragons Rising, I think that Bionicle just since it had that baked in from the beginning, that really shows in the majority of its material. So I would say that's what sets Bionicle apart from those other themes. Not devaluing the other themes by any means.
I'll agree. I feel like that's all very true. I'll say one of the things that really set it apart for me was the fact that it had a completely unique and independent build system that, while still compatible with Lego, was very different than most other things on the market that you could get, especially from Lego. Now, the only one that comes close was Knight's Kingdom, but because it lacks what LJ was talking about, it never had much appeal to me because it didn't have much of like a rich story. It was that combination of cool figures and then a cool story. Because I always gravitated more to action figures as a kid than like buildable play sets like the rest of Lego offered. But I hated regular action figures because they felt very limited. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, wave them around wildly in your hands, set them on your shelf in one pose? Like, the appeal of just like posing them or hitting them against each other was never really there for me. But the buildable component, the ability to kind of alter models to combine, make your own, scavenge them for parts if you want, that was really big for me. So it's kind of like the combination of those two things, the story and the breadth of its scope, and then its unique kind of status on the market. That's what I'd say.
Yes, I think Bionicle was different to other toys in the sense of we have very unique characters in the Western worlds. Robot heroes is more common in the Japan or Korean fiction. Also, we have a very cool character designs, and in Mexico we have a Bionicle was one of the cheapest toys in the market during the early days of the franchise.
Wow. Well, that's good.
But yes, but one of the key factors is those guys are different than Max Steel, Action Man, the Marvel Legends toys, or DC Comics toys. It's too common to have a Batman toy, a Superman toy, a Spider-Man action figure, but what happened with that guy having his unique and original story? Also, you can exchange parts or create your own character. Yeah, you couldn't make that with the DC Comics toys because
Yep.
or you can put the Batman head on the Spider-Man's body and say, yeah, it's the Spider Bat. It's my
Oh,
original character.
so true. We love the Spider Bat.
Yeah, Spider Bat. And
No, you're right.
maybe, yeah, that sense of this is something new or different. It was the key factor for many people. Also, yeah, the gear function. The gear function was very attractive for a kid.
It's where the phrase, actually, Galador coined the term constructible action figure, which is where we of course get construction. And I think
Yes,
that's a very that really applies very well to Bionicle. Yeah,
yeah. Also,
because of that action feature.
I agree.
yeah, yes. Also, yeah, if we compare Galidor with Knight's Kingdom, X-Force, and Galidor and Knight's Kingdom are more like mainstream toys. X-Force is more like anime fan fan base. Okay, so if we are, yeah, we passed the best part of the describing our love for Bionicle. So why don't we speak about the movies? Do you love
I,
it, enjoy it, or as more, or yes, there are. Did you know there is a new a new branch in the Bionicle fans which say all the Bionicle movies are bad, are the worst, produced by Lego.
who would ever say such a thing?
Yes,
LJ, you go first on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
Here it is. There we go. I really like the Bionicle movies. I enjoy them. They're, of course, not perfect films, but I struggle to find any that are. And maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know. I still really like the movies. I also really like that fifth Bionicle movie that came out about 5 years ago, Biocraft Chronicles. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, I really like all the Bionicle movies. My favorite being Legends of Metro Nui, which turns
Yeah,
20 this year.
yeah, the most amazing movie of Bionicle.
Heck yeah. See, Mesa, this guy's great. This guy's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm very much one of the people you mentioned that kind of has the take of like most of the movies aren't really that good. I wouldn't go so far and say they're awful. I feel like for their time they were exceptionally good, and for their target audience they're perfectly fine. I just I find that when I go back to Bionicle and when I, consume Bionicle, or when I relive it, or when I show it to new people, which I've had the pleasure of doing a few times, the movies are rarely what sticks out in my mind as an example of like, oh wow, this was a fantastic Bionicle related thing. It's usually the books, or it's usually Monog, or it's even the comics leave a bit more of an impression. I feel the movies are, I don't know what word to say, they're not bad. I just feel they look like the sets. Maybe it's the simplistic kind of story. I don't really know. Maybe it's my bias towards later years, because I very much am a, '06 onwards kind of a fan, much less than an '01 to '05 fan. So maybe it's just my timeline bias kind of at play. Who knows? I really like
yeah.
Mask of Light, and I really like The Legend Reborn, weirdly enough, because I feel like a lot of people don't like that one, and I actually do. I don't really have much affection for Legends of Metro Nui or Web of Shadows, so I won't be joining on the 20th anniversary celebration for those. Sorry.
Hmm.
Okay. So, did you know there are in the geek community there are a, a wide number of people who say, "Yeah, Bionicle movies, they are great. Legends of Metro Nui is the best movie."
Yeah, that doesn't
Also,
surprise me.
but even in the anime communities, yes, I meet some people in the manga and anime community. They really love Mask of Life of
Wow.
Light. Yes, most of them say, yes, we love that movie because we love it Toonami, and when Toonami announced the movie, we
That is
watch
that
them.
is true. That did happen, and that was very hype. I will agree on that.
Yeah. Also, they told me I remember on a radio show which I was a participant, an online radio show. Some people in the musical space during the musical space, they told me, yeah, we remember Bionicle's movies. The first is a piece, the masterpiece.
Well, there you go.
But why say, what about the second movie? I say, wow, second movie, excellent. So
It's
there
so
is
good.
yes, but about the movies, I remember there was a lot of or controversy about the fourth one. I saw Bionic the Legend Reborn as during my junior high, and I remember the movie. Yes, I love some aspects of the movie, such as the designs more accurate to the toys. But I have some strange in my mind. I feel confused because okay, I know those movies are from designed for kids, but I feel they try to be um, I don't know, more they try to appeal more like a general public, and this movie tried to appeal more like to the children or a younger audience as a bait to buy the toys. Yeah, the others do the
I'll
same, but
agree. It did do it more than the first three. I'll agree on
yeah.
that.
Also we have the this strange thing of angry for some people. Where is Galu? Where are the other where are the other characters?
I mean, Gelu and Malum, he only showed up as a
Yeah.
cameo, you know. So
Yes. Also, where are the vehicles? Where are the tornado? Where are the all these cool motorcycle vehicles and the Baranos? Where all the where are those cool toys? Yeah.
I think they had too many sets and they couldn't figure out a way to get them all in the movie, but it did raise some eyebrows, put it that way.
Yeah. Also, also I remembered a lot of strange theories about the giant robot. Many people say, "Yeah, Toa Matanoi said it's the giant robot in the next movie." Remember my words.
And then it was nothing.
Yes,
That is true.
exactly. So about the movies, we're gonna continue with someone which is too controversial for some people.
Oh,
Uh, um, what what was your opinion about the second trilogy of Bionicle? Yes, we know many people say The Legend Reborn is not my favorite. I don't like the movie. It's okay. Or if my little cousin or my little brother loves the movie, for me it's okay. I can have a person which I can introduce into the franchise.
so
But
when you say second trilogy,
yeah, when I remember those days, the people say, Greg Foster say, there was will be a second trilogy of Bionicle movies. I say, wow, yes,
I
yes, the
see.
final.
So the more the potential of the second trilogy we didn't get to see. Yeah.
Yes,
For me, I just think it's a lot of missed potential. I would have very
okay,
much liked to see Bara Magna and Bota Magna and Aqua Magna, all those planets explored in more detail. I would have liked to see a lot of the cut content. I would have liked to see the Batera, the Element Lords, all the things that we didn't get to see. I was very sad when it was announced that that second trilogy would not be happening. But I do like The Legend Reborn for what it is. I think it does very well.
okay. We spoke about the movies. Yes, I remember it was a very incredible announcement. The in the forums, the people say, yes, we will see the final battle, maybe another Bionicle saga. But yes, the end is here. Some during the last days of November 2009 or 29, the LEGO Group made an announcement related to the end of the first generation of Bionicle. I still remember how the people feels about this bad news. Um, some people express his sadness, his disagree about the past states of the franchise. You know, the some people argue during in considered well shadows to Barra Magna. It was decadence of the franchise, and other discuss about try to combat the emptiness of the franchise because yes, some people have Bionicle as his life, and other people feels with doubts about what happened with Bionicle. It's possible to save the franchise, but in your case, what's your did you remember those days? Also, what was your opinion about the early Hero Factory prototypes?
Okay. So the thing with me was when I found out that Bionicle was going to end, I found out about it a few months before my friends did and the rest of the community did, because I was very clued into the online like leaker community where people would post rumors and rumblings and speculations. And there was one person whose name escapes me at the moment, but he said that my friend works at a retailer and he told me that Bionicle's ending and that it's like getting pulled off shelves and that it's not going to continue past 2010 and that it's going to be replaced with a new theme. And I was very sad about that because I was a big Bionicle fan. And then I processed it, over the course of a month or two. And then I tried to get other people to kind of like accept what was coming because I believed it, but everybody else thought it was fake, thought the leak was a fabrication. And I was trying to convince people, like, no, I trust this person. I think that it is going to end. And they were like, no, Meso, you're being silly. You're, peddling false rumors. And so when it did actually come out that it was ending, I was very sad, but I also felt a weird sense of like vindication almost because I had seen that it was coming several months before. And so I made the very regrettable decision to gloat to my friends in TTV about it and be like, I was right. It was ending after all, which didn't exactly do me many favors. As for Hero Factory, I was basically in like the moment I saw the Hero Factory leaks. I was sold. Now, that's probably because I was a mockist, and so I was just looking at Hero Factory as a chance to get recolored Bionicle pieces. I was like, ooh, black and silver Glatorian hands, or ooh, these helmets can work with Glatorian heads. So that was kind of how I was approaching it. But I also really liked some of the early stuff we got for the story. HF was simple, but it was funny. The Hero Factory FM is a classic. So I was HF's biggest fan from like word go.
Yeah, I remember Meso gloating. I was there for that.
You weren't happy with me?
I don't know anyone that was Meso. But yeah, when I read the announcement, I was definitely sad about it. But at the time, I had become integrated with the others in TTV, and we were starting to make projects and get to know each other. So while I was certainly sad, there was a lot of inspiration in the community to try and carry the torch and continue forth. And the blow was softened by LEGO announcing like, hey, we're no longer doing sets. We're ending it with the stars, but the story will still continue, which it did for another. I mean, if you're counting just the serials, it did for, I think, over a year after that. But the main story continued for several months, like well into 2010. So there was still stuff to do. They actually, I think, handled it ending very well, and I don't think we've seen them handle the ending of a theme quite like it.
Yeah. In my own experience, I remember it was a very strange moment. I studied for the last years of high school in Mexico. We have a separate school, so uh, it was a very strange moment in my life. I really love Bionicle. Those days, well, I start to talk with the people who loves Bionicle as me, or likes the toys, or make mugs. But when I read the letter, I thought, yeah, this is a joke, only a joke. But when I saw the people making videos, complaining to Lego and say, why Lego? If I think, okay, this is serious. Also, I remember there was a very optimistic uh, behavior in the fandom because many people wait for the next saga and the conclusion of the series. Even there was rumors of a new batch of Bionicle stars, including an Exutoa.
I remember that rumor.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember
I-
that.
I'd
yes,
forgotten
I
about
know
that.
it.
It was
I know
it was
it.
a fabrication, but I totally bought into it. I was like, oh, this is coming. It's gonna be another movie. It's gonna be like 12 of them, and some of them are gonna be bigger, and like you can put Tahu in the Exotoa. Like it was made by a BZ Power member named Tilius as a joke, but everybody bought into it. And yes, I'm outing you 14 years later.
Yeah,
It's nothing
but
personal. It was fun.
Yes. Also remember there was a lot of rumors. Even the people is talking with Greg Farstate to try to West God with the West what try to say, hey Greg, what with the new saga? If
Hmm.
Matanui fell in love with Kena or what happened? And when the letter arrived, many people say, "Oh no, this is the end. This is serious."
Yeah.
And Hero Factory, yes, I don't
Yeah.
like Hero Factory in the beginning
Hmm.
because I think, yes, I want Bionicle. I want Bionicle Stars, and Bionicle Stars never arrived to Mexico. Even there is a strange urban legend which say Bionicle Stars arrived to Walmart for only two of the series, only two toys of the series.
Only two of them.
Yes, is what it.
Oh.
Even some people say, oh, okay, I saw Bionicle Stars in Sears or in another apartment stores. And
Hmm.
some friends told me that rumors, even some sites, is mostly like an urban legend. But Hero Factory it was very for me. I don't like the toys, but even some people say, okay, it's Bionicle Stars. It's Bionicle Stars Reloaded because it's the same design, simplistic. But when I start to see more images of the toys, I say, yeah, maybe cool works. Doesn't look very horrible as I think. My favorite character is Duncan Bulk and William Forno. Yeah, Forno is amazing.
They are very cool. Both me and LJ's favorite characters, I think, are Jimmy Stringer.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah.
rock star. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
You
So,
ready? Born ready, Furno.
yes, but Hero Factory was a very controversial topic.
Hmm.
Also, I think another controversy with Lego Bionicle what was the Bionicle Stars, because the people think, why? Why you give us a simplistic toy, not something complex? Why you are recycling the build a figure or build collectible as other toy lines, as Marvel Legends, DC Universe, or Lego in the past? Is more, yeah, in some way the people feels hostile for those reasons. Maybe
Hmm.
even nowadays, I have for some toys of DC and Marvel toy. I feel I seen how these the people is sometimes frustrated with the idea of you buy a whole series of a toy to have another toy which you love it, or instead of bu- buy this one separately.
Yeah.
But Hero Factory. So about Hero Factory, you what's your opinion of the whole Hero Factory saga? Uh, when Hero Factory was the new Bionicle, but something like which I missed. If any one of you if or your friends have this weird theory of Ben 10 was the replacement of Bionicle.
Um, I know people had been talking about Ben 10 a lot back then, but I don't think anybody, at least in our group, believed that to be like a replacement. I think it was more an experiment. We viewed it as because it was like Lego was trying to have multiple construction lines running at one point, which hadn't been a thing for many years since Knight's Kingdom had existed. All eyes were very much on HF to kind of prove its worth. And
Yeah,
I mean, I can only speak for myself. I think I was the only one who like really clicked with it. Like, feel
yeah,
free to correct me, LJ, but like you were kind of a fan of it ish. You enjoyed watching it at the very least, and you bought some of the sets, but you and a lot of other people very much kind of you were casual observers. Is that correct to say?
Um, I would say you and I were probably the most connected to Hero Factory simply because I remember us getting some of the figures and getting on call and talking about them, and I mean doing like pseudo reviews and whatnot.
True.
But I wasn't as connected to it as you were. But like you and I did a lot of videos together talking about it and talking
Yeah.
about like different things, different leaks, different games and upcoming items.
We were basically the only ones who were super
Yeah.
jazzed about
Yeah.
it.
Yes, I need to confess something to public in public. I was a Hero Factory fan. I really loved the toys.
Yeah,
And I love the designs.
it was fun.
Yes,
I
even I
understand
have
people not being super into it, considering, I get it, but
yes, I
it was still good.
mhm, yes. Also, I really love Hero Factory products. Even I have the only Hero Factory DVD in Spanish language, which is called the first and second season of the series.
Oh wow.
Yes,
That's actually really cool.
a fun fact about the DVD and the first Hero Factory series in Spanish, it was considered as lost media.
Really?
Really. I bought my. I remember I visited the downtown of my city with my dad, and we entered to a bookshop, and there we visit the DVD and movies section, and I found Hero Factory Rise of the Rookies in Spanish language.
Well, that is fantastic. That's
Yes,
a great find.
and during the lockdown, I talked with a person which is in Peru, which is making a project to save all the Bionicle media, Hero Factory media in Spanish language. I told them, yes, I have the DVD. I said, no, it's a joke. I I showed him a picture and said, yes, exist. And now the the Spanish language, the Spanish version is not a myth, is not lost media, it's founded.
That is
Very nice.
really,
Yeah,
really cool. Holy smokes.
yes, yes. Also about the Hero Factory, we arrived to the point of no return of the franchise. So, did you remember Invasion from Below and the return of Christian Faber?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was amazing.
For wait, which one? So like Invasion from Below or Christian Faber's Return?
Both of them.
Okay. Okay.
Faber's Return is very cool. Invasion from Below. I changing the voice cast kind of messed with my immersion personally,
Yeah.
but it was very beautifully animated.
Yes. About this point of no return, when Lego don't show any more Hero Factory toys during the toy fair, and some strange rumors appear in the Russian internet saying Bionicle will come back, a new generation, the spider villains. What was your reaction?
Well, we were very excited. LJ, I believe you and Var were the ones to make the first video, correct?
Yes, we broke the news to the world, much to
Yes,
the great chagrin of many.
yes, I remember the hype train.
Hype train.
Oh yeah. Yep. No,
Yeah,
we definitely we conducted that one. And
It truthfully was a wonderful time to be
it's
in the
exciting.
community. Yeah.
so when the toys were when Lego showed the toys during the New York Comic Con in 24 2014, which was your reaction?
I was extremely excited. There was so much to talk about, so much to theorize about. It was a very exciting time for everyone for sure. But we were all like really, really looking forward to the possibilities that lay ahead.
Yeah,
And it was just fun to to think about what could be happening next.
It's difficult to really put it into perspective because I mean, later on, I'm sure we'll talk about like our group and stuff, but we had only known each other really in an era where Bionicle had either been on its way out or was already dead. So the prospect of being friends with each other and having a podcast and having a YouTube channel during an era where Bionicle was alive, everybody was really excited at that prospect because we were able to kind of celebrate the return of something that was the cause for us all knowing each other. It was a very big deal. And
Yes.
getting to see all the old faces we remember from the community kind of come back from inactivity and re-enter the community once more to be excited about the return. Super fun time. No matter how things went in the end, I'll always be grateful for that time.
Yes, I remember those days. I have a delay to enter the university. So I take an English course. And I remember I get more and more involved with the Bionicle fan base in Spanish. And even I met some of my friends personally. We are not more the surname as Master of Disaster or Toa of Chaos. We are more like a person. But when the rumors start to appear, some of we are getting contact on the WhatsApp, on Facebook, and say and exchanging all the rumors. Even when we meet each other in person, we only speak about the rumors and say, "Hey, did you believe that is true, or is that a hoax?" Yeah, we are obsessed with those ideas. Even we have some round tables speaking about the situation, even our weirdest theories as maybe the Toas will arrive in a new planet and they fought with the spiders or with the protectors.
Oh, those were the days.
There was a lot
The
of
days of
strange,
purity before it
yeah,
actually came out.
yeah, there was a lot of strange material on on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Stra- Weird theories, strange dreams. Yeah, even the I have the dream.
Yup, the
The dream.
Bionicle dream.
Yes. So we found, wow, this is amazing made person which can be have parallel histories. But when you saw finally the toy, when you saw the toys in the toy show, did you feel excited? Did you feel anxious, or how do you feel it?
Non-stop excitement, especially like we're talking for the toys. Basically 100% excitement. The G2 line of sets, 2015, and to a lesser degree 2016, but still are like some of the best Bionicle figures like ever. And I'll die on that hill. It was
Agreed.
incredible seeing them on shelves. I loved basically all of them. Lord of Skull Spiders, not the best, but he's endearing in his own way. But like all the Toa and all the protectors were great. The uniters, pretty cool. The skull villains and the beasts, all right. The creatures were awesome. Very few like bad sets.
Really, yes. What about you, LJ?
Firmly agree. I was extremely excited for the sets when they were properly revealed. As much fun as it was to theorize, getting to actually see them and see where LEGO was taking the identity of the theme next was a great deal of fun. And I think that first wave in 2015 absolutely knocked it out of the park. I know there was some controversy about a lack of detail on the figures, like not looking as mechanical as they did in 2000 in the first run. But I thought that they did a really great job. I thought they all looked really good as a cohesive unit. And I thought it was great. I thought they did really, really well.
I
Yes.
agree.
So in my case, it was strange because yes, as Mexico, Mexico as what nowadays is one of the most the countries which more buy consume Lego toys. In those days, we have the failure of Hero Factory. We only, for example, Breakout. Only a few toys arrived to the toy shops.
Hmm.
An Invasion from Below, Brain Attack. Only and 5 or 6 toys were available in the toy stores.
Sad.
And finally, Invasion from Below. No Hero Factory toys.
None at all.
Yes, exactly. Not at all.
Wow.
Only if you live in the Mexico United States border. So we only have the Chima toys, or but not the final wave.
Yeah.
And that when Bionicle returned, all the fans we are gathered waiting for news about of Lego. Lego say, okay, Lego will be in Mexico with Bionicle toys, but only the toys only arrived on Walmart,
Uh,
and the wave was incomplete. Sadly,
Huh.
only arrived Lords of the School of Spiders, the six toy, and 4 protectors. And later Lego say, okay, it's an experiment. If those toys have a good numbers, we will bring more Bionicle toys for all the Bionicle toys. In
hmm.
the during the school saga, Lego say, okay, you will have 4 schools for Mexico. No school arrived to the toy stores. So when you find a Bionicle in a Walmart, it was amazing because oh, Bionicle is back, Bionicle is back. But sadly, not all the Walmarts have the Bionicle toys. It
That is
was a
very
very
unfortunate.
yes, and this situation will be retaken during the last days of Bionicle Generation 2. So, about the fan base, do you think the fan base will have very a warm received from the new Bionicle toys, or the fan base was divided as in Latin America?
Very divided. People were very divided. I think the issues were it was twofold. The first issue was the sets themselves, because even though me and LJ really like them, a lot of people did not. Like LJ had mentioned, people felt like there wasn't enough detail. The building system that was used by Hero Factory was called CCBS, and that was very divisive because people wanted the old style back where the armor connected via like pins and axles instead of clipping on via ball joints. A lot of people refused to accept the new Bionicle purely for that reason alone. That wasn't so much us though, or people in our community. In our community, the biggest issue was the story. That was what really caused the biggest divide, both in terms of our wider community and also internally among us in the TTV podcast as well. I remember the moment that I had a feeling that things weren't gonna go the way I had hoped was during an interview of the Comic Con in New York City for 2014, where one of the people from the team mentioned that, oh yeah, the voice actor is really great. I love the voice he does for Pohatu. And I was like, oh, voice actor? Singular? Oh. Oh
Yes,
no.
I
And that was
remember
the
that
moment for
day.
me where it all kind of like not to say I gave up. I still bought the toys. I still enjoyed certain things like the books or Journey to One, but from that moment on, I pretty much knew that it was going to be a more of a low budget offering, and my kind of hopes for Bionicle to get like a TV show or a movie or video games were kind of dashed.
Yes.
Um, LJ, what about you? Were you what side of that coin did you fall?
See, yeah, I was always very excited for new G2 material, but there was definitely a sense of disappointment when we realized some specific things, like you had just mentioned, the single voice actor for that material. The community was wildly divided on nearly everything in a way that I hadn't really experienced before, because the Bionicle community on BZ Power, when it had started the first time, was definitely, I mean, probably a lot younger, but also just generally more excited for Bionicle content, however it came in. I think the most divisive thing that I had seen the community react to was probably Legend Reborn.
Yeah,
But
the
outside of
Glatorian in
that,
general.
yeah, and the Glatorian as well. But
Yes.
aside from that, I think the community that had grown up grew to be a lot pickier and a lot more divisive about a lot of things, which
I'm guilty of that.
unfortunately that would only get worse.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it back during those days. I was definitely very, very picky. But that's all.
Yes. Yes, I still remember that. One of the most one of the key points of the discussion on the WhatsApp messenger chats was the yes was the comic books and say, okay, we have a single draw for all the heroes. Also, we have a single voice actor instead of have different voice actors. For example, the Korean version of the animated shorts have different voice actors. And
Really?
that was very, yes, really, that was a very problematic for us as Latinos because, okay, Lego wants more representation in the Latino toy stores. Why don't you make a Spanish version of these shorts?
Yeah.
And that is a huge problem. But usually some people return only to say goodbyes. Say, okay, I don't want these toys. Look good, great, but not my Bionicle. As not my Star Wars or not my Marvel. Yes, you know these
Yeah.
civil internal wars in the fandoms. Uh, I I checking the list of questions which I made during the early negotiation of the interview, and I forget a very interesting factor: the second market of Bionicle. Yes, during the return of Bionicle, and speculation on Bionicle toys started, especially in countries which don't have easy access to second-hand toy stores or thematic toy stores, or the collectible toys are too expensive. Yes, I have plenty of experience in Mexico, but what do you think about that speculation on the Bionicle toys during the Generation 2?
About whether they're too expensive.
Yes.
It definitely was a problem. It's a problem with Lego in general, to be honest. That's a conversation for another day. But
Yeah.
it's only gotten worse. But even with Bionicle, it was slowly starting to get up there because, used to sets that were classified as, Titans or larger, more complex models costing $20. Well, now regular Toa were costing $20. And instead of being just a few sets in a given wave that had the Titan classification, now a lot of them did. Like you had 3 different Toa plus other sets, combo sets that could reach up to like $35 when all was said and done. On average, the cost to get everything went up a lot more than other years of Bionicle, which would have a lot of cheaper sets that a lot of times would sell for under $10, and then like a few larger sets. So it was definitely an issue, and it's only gotten worse. If those same sets came out nowadays, I bet that like Tahoe 2015, for instance, would cost like $35. So that's my hot take. What do you think, Eldra?
I definitely feel that accessibility to a lot of sets nowadays, because you had mentioned the secondhand market, accessibility is definitely a lot harder now. And I think we saw that ramp up with G2, like Mesa was saying,
Mm,
because a lot of secondhand stores and secondhand sellers are definitely charging a lot of money for older sets. Not every set. You can still get like a full collection of Mata, I think, for kind of a lower price, but it has definitely increased quite a bit over the years. And I don't think it's going to get better, unfortunately. It's just going to continue to, everything's going to cost more and more. And I do think that, kind of like what Mesa was saying, how the sets themselves started to cost more. I think
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
secondhand market also followed that trend to try and
Yeah.
capitalize on it,
absolutely.
which is a
Also,
problem.
yes, I think this will be a great topic because in Mexico, Latin America, we suffer of a speculation during the early days of G2. Some people travel to United States or Europe and bring the toys with them, and they make a second-hand market, and they gave a very high prices for those early released toys. Even people who are Bionicle fans are part of that problem during G2. Even there is a very interesting urban legend in Mexico City, which can explain some part of the phenomenon in some ways. Some people which I met, some friends or forum folks, told me about a guy who is bought all the Bionicle toys in Mexico City, and the activity of that guy started. We originally believed it, the guy started during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Making memory and try to remember, maybe that guy started during G2 because we have our equivalent to eBay, a website called Mercado Libre, have Bionicles in very low prices. For example, Banfra with his canister, $8.
Whoa.
Even there is a really strange case. A Toa Matanui set was sold in $40.
$40.
Yeah, $40.
When was this?
It was in maybe 2 years before, 1 year before yes, maybe during the G2 started.
Wow.
There
That
was,
is crazy.
yeah, that's crazy because in Mexico, Bionicle is not it wasn't appreciated as a collectible. It's more like yes, those toys which are bootleg of Transformers.
Yeah, that's unheard of. Something like that would be impossible now.
Yes, for example, in those years, the early Iron Man movies toys and all the Star Wars toys are considered as collectible toys, also Transformers. But Bionicle, it was ignored because Bionicle was a weird in the collector circles. We are a strange minority.
Mm-hmm.
So when G2 started, yes, the prices go high into the skies. And
Hype train.
yes, also there was another phenomenon. In Mexico, we have yes, sadly we have those guys, a YouTuber called Rodrigo Matt Hunter, which is making a strange business with vintage toys. and he give random prices to damaged toys from the 50s, 90s, 80s, and say, no, 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 it's vintage. This is
Uh,
the coolest. Or in
it's
Mexico, we will
vintage.
say la chida. And that
Oh,
guy make it. Yes, he is even. I check in his videos. He started during the before G2 start, and the collector market changed it radical with the influence of that guy.
great. So it's his fault.
And nowadays,
That's
Bionicle
awful.
is overpriced. Even some people think a Matanui set with only a few piece missing is worth from maybe $40
Yeah.
because now it's rare. It's the coolest. It's La Chida. Yeah, it's
But the prices are ridiculous. I was looking the
yes.
other day, and on American eBay right now, there was a Toa Nui set with like half of the pieces missing or swapped out for alternate colors, and he was missing his mask, and it was still selling for 380, US dollars. And
That's insane.
Yeah, really insane. So we are arriving for another controversy. During the G2, we have Journey to One, and the people after seeing this Netflix series miniseries, the people say, "Yeah, I prefer The Legend Reborn." Yes, and some people say The Legend Reborn is better, Journey to One is not good. But if we try to reach a middle point of neutrality, what's your opinion of this the first Netflix miniseries of Bionicle?
Elder, do you want to go first?
Sure. No, so like most Bionicle related content, I enjoyed Journey to One, but it's definitely not without issue. And unfortunately, Journey to One had the main problem of ending G2 in the way it did. It unfortunately is just not a very good ending. Like, I'm glad that it ended and it was given a conclusion, but it was just handled in a way that was not very satisfying. That said, I thought that the voice cast was very good. I thought that the animation was really good. I thought the style had a really nice middle ground between Journey to One, or sorry, Legend Reborn and the older Bionicle films. And it was entertaining to watch. Where I think it really fell through was a lot of the direction kind of fell flat. A lot of the scripting was not as compelling as I feel it could have been. So
Yeah.
to a lot of people, I don't think it lived up to what they felt was a high standard for the theme, for the franchise. But I don't think that it was as bad as a lot of people said that it was, right up until you get to the ending. Those final two episodes were very difficult to watch.
My opinion, short and simple. I actually really liked Journey to One. I think more than most. I would actually, I remember we were having these conversations. I was like, I think it competes with the movies. Um, it may not reach the same levels in some respects, but like I was saying, the art style was really good. The animation was really good. There was a sense of like artistry to it. I do vastly prefer how it looks than how the Miramax movies looked. That's just my opinion. Um, it did a lot of things right. I was very much happy. I was very much enjoying it. Like Elge said, right up until those last two episodes. I can't recall a period where I've been so disappointed by a hobby. I think that there have been plenty of times in my personal life that I've been like more sad or when bad things have happened. But that was definitely a low point for the enjoyment of a hobby was watching that when it came out, going to sleep, waking up and seeing like 2 paragraphs typed up on bionicle.com saying that it was over.
Okay. So I remember when Journey to One was related. Yeah, another cultural curiosity. In Mexico, the the at that point of the history, most of the Bionicle fans or the community, we don't have Netflix at all. Before, after the G2 was finished, most of the people we have Netflix. It wasn't popular in Mexico, so we cannot mention the ways of where which most of the people we saw the special, but general opinion, I think there is something good about Journey to One. Most of the fans we want a Bionicle TV series,
Mhm.
such as Lego City or Ninjago, and I think this is the great one of the biggest or the best part of the show. Finally, we have our dream was achieved.
True.
Bionicle have a TV series. The other part, I think there is a problem because the history cannot permit to introduce a new batch of fans into the universe. Maybe why don't we make an introduction retelling the history of the previous stages of G2? Maybe the people which don't know what is a Bionicle, maybe they will say, okay, I have this kind of prologue or very very short introduction or resume of the franchise. Okay, I want to see the series. Maybe it will be interesting have this kind of script in the working to the non-fan from the non-Lego consumers. But another problem I found is at this point of the franchise, Lego Ninjago was more popular.
Oh
Even
yeah.
in yeah, there was the whole Ninjago TV series at this in my, for example, in my country was you can see watch Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu in Disney on Disney Channel, and the people, the childrens know which who is Lloyd, who is Garmadon, who is who are the Serpentines, who is Morrow, and all the characters. And when Lego's announcement Nexonites and say, we will have a Nexonites TV series on Cartoon Network, Bionicle have a clear disadvantage. Netflix is at the on this point of the history is more like it isn't too popular, isn't the mainstream of the streamings. The streaming service only started as a global phenomenon, but Ninjago on the Nexonites have a huge exposition to the children. The children will see the cartoon, and they visit the toy store and say, "Okay, mom, dad, I want the Lloyd's Battle Arena, or I want the Nexonite Tower of Battle." But they say the Bionicle and say, "Who is that guy? And why this older guy is looking with with love those toys? I want my Ninjago Lego sets." Yes, that's a clear disadvantage of the area and the distribution of Bionicle.
Yeah, no, I mean it's tough to break into an established market.
Yeah,
I think that when something like Ninjago had so much of a market share and so much of a grasp on kids, you know, especially with how expensive Lego sets are, how many themes are you realistically going to collect? How many would kids' parents even let them collect? You know, it's probably pick your favorite, not have them all. And so Bionicle definitely got the short end of the stick.
yeah. So did you consider this is the failure of G2, the marketing?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
What
Marketing was the
about,
biggest problem. It
yes,
should have launched with a TV show immediately, and that TV show probably should have been on actual TV.
yeah,
The fact that it didn't, the fact that it launched, in the second year of its run, that harmed things because it didn't get to introduce itself to the world in that way. And then also, like you said, for certain people, Netflix wasn't super accessible. I
yeah,
mean, I know there were many problems with G2, but I think marketing is probably the biggest one, wouldn't you say, Elder?
Easily. Absolutely. They really dropped the ball when it came to the marketing. A lot of people did not know it came back.
okay. So, did you remember the idea to make a giveaway, making mugs, and the the giveaway it was too expensive?
I remember a few giveaways. I remember the golden mask
Yes, the Golden Mask was
giveaways,
a very break point on the Bionicle franchise,
golden
accessible
mask of
for
jungle from Trash Can.
yes.
Uh,
Also, I remember the first Golden Mask, the exclusive spider. Some people argue the it wasn't legal. The winner. There was a lot of controversy about the Golden Mask giveaways.
I do remember a bit of what you're talking about. The first mask, didn't some people insinuate it had been rigged or something?
Yeah, the quest
it
of the
was,
mask.
yeah,
Yes, the que-
there was some controversy that I don't know necessarily if it was a straight up rigging, but the winner of that did receive prototype pieces of G2 parts from
okay.
Lego that they
Yeah,
used in their winning entry.
Yes, exactly. I rem
controversy.
I remember, yes, one of, if you ask me, maybe I will say what killed Bionicle in his G2, the controversies,
Hmm.
not the toys itself, the controversy.
Elaborate. Go on.
So we're gonna arrive, and finally arrive to the last questions of the first block. Okay, about the last days of the G2. So consider the past generation. How was the feelings of the fans? They consider with the most mature approach to the cancellation, or they are angry with with the controversies about the quest of the mask, Journey to One, or maybe it we need to accept G2 could be great, but maybe some elements doesn't work very well.
If I had to pick, because it's difficult to pick a single prevailing emotion with how complex everything was in the eyes of people in the community. But if I had to pick one just so we can have a conversation about it, it would definitely be anger. People were very angry, and I think they overdid it a bit with their anger because a lot of it got turned, where else is it going to go but to Lego or to the fans themselves. I know a lot of people had said that the fans were at fault because they didn't buy the toys enough. You should have put your money where your mouth is. A lot of people went angry at the people who did not want to buy G2 because of the CCBS system. A lot of people turned their anger at Lego because they canceled it. It was a whole mess, and it's kind of pervaded in the years since because now it has filled a notion that Lego hates Bionicle and anything to do with it, when I don't necessarily believe that's true, to the point where even when Lego does anything remotely related to Bionicle, whether that's a sticker in a Lego system set or whether it's the Tahu and Takua gift purchase set, a lot of people in the community react to that very much with hostility. Like, you had your chance to bring it back and you did it poorly. Now it needs to stay dead because you making references or homages to it is just like kicking its corpse. People were very angry when G2 ended. Was that
Yeah.
your experience, Elder?
That's definitely what I've noticed. Yeah. Yeah. Some people they had speeches about it. You know.
Hey, I had a speech,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're some people.
but I wasn't angry though.
Yeah. I remember those years, or even days. There was very bizarre. The people was angry. The forums, which are crowded with joy and hope, nowadays are full of rage, are full of hate, angry,
True.
anger, sadness. It's like enter to the worst part of, yeah, it's maybe it was to the enter to the worst parts of the depression, because those most of the remnant people on the Bionicle fan base are nowadays are grown-ups, which some of them have jobs, are working, or are studying his bachelor, a master degree, and they have the hope of maybe my children will meet Bionicle, and they continue my collection. They will be a new saga by a new full saga of Bionicle toys. And when they know the reality of, yeah, Bionicle is not the number one of Lego nowadays. Nowadays, Ninjago have this place. I still remember how the people in the Latino forums say, "Hey, I gonna give as a birthday part, as a give birthday present to my cousin or my little brother or the son of my sister a Bionicle toy. I hope he could follow my steps in this beautiful world." Later, those guys say, "I hate Lego. Why Lego? Why you came back Bionicle and kill Bionicle?"
Yeah.
The most controversial part of all that is the new letter of Lego related to Bionicle. They say maybe Bionicle will bring back in another occasion. Maybe you will have a third generation. The people start to think, yeah, that is Transformers. We don't buy Transformers. We buy Bionicle.
Yeah.
And I think that another problem is the people is hardened. Some of them live the end of the first generation as children, as teenagers, and they don't understand very well what is happening when his old friend return to his home and say, "Okay, I don't know when we will see you again, when we will meet again, or if we will meet again under in the twin months of Maternal Island." The people feel confused. It's too common in the fan base. For I can understand in some way, because nowadays some people are angry when Disney try to erase the expanded universe of Star Wars, and nowadays Disney say, "Okay, we're gonna bring back elements of the expanded universe of Star Wars. Don't worry." But maybe we don't know how we're gonna put in the new saga. And yes, I remember my personal case. Uh, I passed a very difficult moment in my life. And yes, I feel very comforted with my friends, my Bionicle friends. But when the sad news arrived to us, we say, "Okay, maybe we need a final round table to discuss the future of Bionicle." The end of the round table wasn't happy. It was sadness. The people say, "Yes, we know the end is near, but maybe Lego will do something better." I still remember a lot of conspiracy theories, which the Bionicle fans believed during the before the end of the decade. The people say, "Yeah, maybe it will be another Bionicle or Bionicle will come back for his anniversary, or the new Bionicle toys are ready, but those leaks were the Minecraft toys. There was a lot of disappointment. I remember in TTV Channel there was the Bionicle autopsy part about talking about the disappointment.
Yeah. There was a lot of disappointment, that's for sure.
We we examined all the Bionicle franchise in our experience, but it's time for the conclusion. But time for the most controversial question to the Bionicle fans. What's your opinion about CCBS? It's good? It's horrible? Could be it will be better have a rebranding of CCBS, or maybe it's better Lego make another toy system.
See, to me, that isn't even close to the most controversial question, but I definitely think to many it is. I think it goes beyond CCBS a bit. Like I will address CCBS, but like it's such a phenomenon. I feel like for many people, it's not so much about, oh, this line uses CCBS, so it is bad. And it's more about this literally doesn't use the old pieces. This is bad. And we see that phenomenon even as recently as the gift with purchase Tahu, which didn't use CCBS. But people don't really want anything new. People only want the old pieces. And that was very much on display with G2. People didn't like how it looked. A lot of people, I feel, have the Bionicle dream so much that they almost don't even want new Bionicle. They just want their old Bionicle to return, which is something that I genuinely feel. But yeah, a lot of people definitely did say CCBS was terrible and ruined everything. I was never one of those people. I like CCBS a lot. I am a CCBS defender, but it was a deal breaker for a lot of people, I guess, just because it wasn't the old.
Yeah, no, and I actually think CCBS is really good as a building system, just on its face. I understand that a lot of people were upset that a lot of the detail was lost. However, I'm distinctly aware that there are several people in the community that pointed out that G1 never had a distinct identity toward the latter part of its run, the first run, because you had a lot of sets, and the example that was always pointed out to me was Brutaka. You had a lot of sets that used pieces from waves that had distinctly different aesthetics. And they're all just kind of meshed together in a way that wasn't necessarily cohesive. Whereas CCBS is extremely cohesive until they started to introduce new pieces to the catalog that strayed away from that cohesion. So I think CCBS is really good. It's a super strong building system, but I understand why people have the grievance they do. I just personally I don't agree with it.
Okay, so yes. You can understand about the point about CCBS. Yes, I don't like CCBS at the beginning because I think, yes, I want the old Bionicle style pieces, but I want to see the problem with Bionicle is sometimes the designs can be quite repetitive. So
True.
CCBS offer a new possibility of making different models, even more savage designs. The problem for me was maybe the overuse of CCBS in some parts. For example, organic beings as the Star Wars toys.
Agreed.
Did you remember this Uncanny Valley Gene Erso, Rey, Han Solo?
It's difficult for me to ever forget those.
Even the most, even the most, yeah, the most
Sometimes I wake
uncanny.
up at night and I can still see Han Solo staring
Yeah.
at me.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
even yes, I remember Luke Skywalker becomes in a meme.
Yeah, CCBS was not a good fit for everything.
Yes, for
Um,
example, if you took Grievous or Darth Vader, it was yeah, there was really good toys. Boba Fett, the Death Trooper, Short Troopers, yeah, the design fit on the CBS fit on the Star Wars aesthetics.
yeah, and those I really did enjoy. It's just
Yeah,
for a lot of people, those were the minority. I know a lot of people
also,
were very frustrated that Lego didn't do more figures like that, and I
mhm.
definitely agree.
Also another feature we can speak about why CCBS is really hated. The second series of Hero Factory, Order of Fire, introduced a system more like the Japanese mobile kits. Hero Factory tried to find his own identity, but some people don't like the idea of have different pieces, very unique building style, and you see how the Hero Factory returned more like the Bionicle style with Breakout in the Invasion, Brain Attack. The Lego designers know what the people want, but they are limited to create more and more and more closer to those old school Bionicle fans, which only want Bionicle flavor, not explore other flavors. The ice cream shop.
True. That is very true. Because one of the
Yes,
things I liked the most about Hero Factory was the 2.0 helmets that had the base attachments, and then you could also you could mix and match attachments on the central helmet piece, and that I thought that was a cool design. But they just completely they stopped it. They stopped it completely,
yeah.
opting to return to the old way of doing things, and that was a shame because I liked it.
Yes, also another point which can be considered as the ending of CCBS. Maybe it was how the people received the toys. Yes, I still remember the memes about CCBS, average, yes, the average CCBS, the chat Bionicle pieces.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going around.
Yes, CCBS
Oh
offers
yeah.
something unique. For example, there are more durable pieces.
Thankfully.
Bionicle have the problem, and during the last days of the franchise, the pieces are more fragile.
Which is absolutely true and very
Yeah.
unfortunate. A lot of my parts have broken.
Also, CCBs have a very uncomfortable burden. Hero Factory use CCBs, and the people isn't happy with CCBS. Is not Bionicle is not using CCBS. Hero Factory using CCBS. Even in the middle of the Bionic Hero Factory franchise, some people still imagine one day Bionicle will return. And again, a lot of strange theories about how Hero Factory will be the return of Bionicle, and maybe they will Hero Factory and the Bionicles will fight, and Bionicle defeat Hero Factory, and Lego reconsider have again the franchise. It was a lot of weird and strange material, which maybe will kill CCBS.
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows why exactly? Because now, I mean, the parts don't even exist anymore. Like, has destroyed the
Yes,
molds for
oh,
90% of them.
yes. Also, there are a lot of lost media in the Bionicle community, including all the hate hate speech against CCBS.
True.
Yes, if we're gonna checking what happened with CCBS, CCBS suddenly disappear of Lego toys. and we arrived to the maybe one of the yes maybe another a more another controversial build system the and yeah and the people is say yes we don't like the brick figures we want bionicles it's a destructive circle not a virtuous circle.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you are
so
absolutely right.
if we speak about that, it's time to make our verdict about the fan base. So consider the Bionicle, all this trouble on the Bionicle franchise. Did you believe Bionicle will have a we're gonna speak a little bit, make a little bit of speculation. Is possible or plausible a third generation on also? What could be the reaction of the fan base?
Ooh,
LJ. Heavy
honestly,
topic. What do you think, LJ Johnson?
I don't think that the current fan base would respond very positively to a Generation 3, because a Generation 3 that would exist, that would come into to being, would not be what it wants. Bionicle, if it were to return and it were to survive in the current market, would not be able to come back in the way that we have known it, because construction pieces, large, very specific parts, are not something LEGO is looking to create in large quantity now.
Okay, yes, totally agree.
So it would either be a system theme, or it would be system adjacent, or it would be something that is distinctly not large parts. And as such, I don't think the majority of the current Bionicle community would be positively receptive to it.
Okay, so I think this is a very interesting topic because nowadays, did you remember how many different cartoons, movie franchise, comic books were when Bionicle is in his peak? I still remember the maybe the so-called geek culture is more like an underground culture. The people knows who is Batman, who's Spider-Man, who is Hulk, who is Superman, but the people don't know who is Green Lantern, who is Iron Man, who is who is Hawkeye, and different characters which are introduced nowadays in the cinematographic universe. And an interesting point to speak. I think Bionicle won't survive in a in, a, in this environment of franchise, world of franchise. We have the new coming DC cinematographic universe. We are living the final days of Marvel cinematographic universe, and they are still popular as Transformers with his different reboots on the cinematographic universe. And the people nowadays want to see as unique and different a franchise of robots, which can be assembled, which can be moved with gearboxes or have elemental powers. Those stuff nowadays is mainstream. And Bionicle in his good days is more like a underground toys for kids, or the most representative thing of the underground geek culture. And nowadays, the people know lots about comic books for the movies, for the TV shows. The people is more exposed to the anime, to the science fiction. Uh, yeah, those days where Bionicle was one of the is the maybe the coolest kid and the unknown kid are gone. Maybe is one of the reasons of why Bionicle never come back after the G2.
It is
Lego,
possible.
yeah,
It's harder for it to inhabit a space when that's already saturated by so many prominent and well-known action characters.
My logic is because Lego doesn't, my theory is that Lego doesn't know what to do with it. I think
Yeah.
that Lego, when they brought back G2, they got hit with a wave of criticisms that I don't think they were necessarily expecting. It was like, where's the world building? Where's the app game where you can walk around the island and talk to villagers? Where's the culture of the island, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? All things that people attribute to certain things in Bionicle G1, like the Matanui online game, something that Lego didn't make and had nothing to do with. I think that on the whole, I think that Lego doesn't really. I don't want to say they don't get it, but I do think current Lego leadership doesn't fully understand what Bionicle is or how it became as popular as it was, or more accurately, what the community would even want from a reboot of it. And I
Yeah.
can't really blame them because everybody seems to want something different. There is no real consensus. There's a lot of division in the community still. I think we saw that with the gift of purchase. Some people absolutely loved it and thought it was the coolest thing ever. Some people thought it was terrible and an insult and refused to engage with it. It's difficult to please a group that is that diverse. And I think Lego might be like, well, why would we entertain this admittedly risky gamble when we could just make another year of Ninjago?
Yes. Also, I agree with Mesh. Also, nowadays, even the inactive franchise, they have a lot of material to sell to his fans. For example, yeah, last Airbender, this franchise produced a lot of books, a lot of articles from his fans, and Bionicle. Maybe if Lego in one point of his history say, okay, Lego will be as our independent line, and we can brand it from not only toys, from different products. Consider most of our fans are becoming teenagers, or some of them are adults. Maybe it could be a cool idea to say Bionicle since generation one. But nowadays we're confronted a very different world. And yes, I lost the count of how many Minecraft toys Lego produces. Because yes, Minecraft is a very cool idea from the kids. And it's more easy to sell to say, okay, this is your world, you can build it. And nowadays it's a Lego toy. And
Yeah.
it's more easy to introduce to the kids, to the children, something well known or something which is popular nowadays. That's why Lego Marvel, Lego DC, it's still alive, despite the sets aren't good enough.
I would definitely agree.
So our verdict is not plausible a third generation of Bionic.
I would love to see it. I
Yes.
just don't think we're gonna get it.
Also, there is a problem which I totally forgot. Have you ever seen the new articulations which Lego is used on the mechs?
Yes. The mech articulation is a big deal.
Yeah, and I think Lego is have a horrible problem with the articulated construction, because since Ninjago they are killing points of articulation since Ninjago movie.
Yeah.
So Bionicle can, which is well known to be totally articulated toys, can fit in the new context. And the fans are some fans, or maybe most of the fans are very specific in his loved objects. For example, you cannot say, okay, that character will be the replacement of Han Solo or his spiritual successor. The people will say, no, we want Han Solo.
Yeah, basically. I think that once upon a time, Bionicle thrived off of having a bunch of different characters. But nowadays, I don't think Bionicle could survive without the Toa. And even then, it's hit or miss.
Yeah. Even I remember in the ideas of Greg Farstey to finish Bionicle, and yes, I forgot to mention, Greg Farstey nowadays is not working anymore with Lego on some. One of the brains who make Lego Bionicle isn't anymore in the boat.
Yeah, that
So
is true.
remember about that. Greg Farstey considered kill some characters and try to advance the history, even put Takanuga as the final and as the final hero, and forgot all the classical characters. Maybe if Bionicle survived, I don't know the fan base accept the idea of where Tahu eliminated, Gali eliminated, Jalor eliminated, because if you see the continuation of the history, Greg Farstey is eliminated characters. So maybe if Lego continued, maybe the people weren't happy with Greg on the decisions of Lego. So
That's entirely possible.
see, yes, totally. So this is our verdict of the first part. Bionicle couldn't survive nowadays, but also it was despite all the bad histories and all these accumulated rage and hate, it was a great experience be part of the Bionicle series. In the Bionicle,
Absolutely.
yeah. As a conclusion, I will say the most thing I will love, which I love about this, my friends, which I met for Bionicle, also how Bionicle affected my life in the positive, in the sense of I want the idea to create histories, characters, or make or be interested in explore other ideas. So what about you, Meso?
I'd feel like I definitely agree with you. I mean, the TTV channel and the TTV podcast and the people in it that I've met have like transcended both generations. And this year was the 10th anniversary of the reveal of G2, the first leak and of the official reveal in like
Yeah,
2
it
months.
was on these days.
Yeah. And Bionicle's gone, but the people I met through it are still here, and we still talk to them on a daily basis. So as far as I'm concerned, that's my takeaway. No matter all the bad, there was some good too, and that good matters.
Yeah. So what about you, LJ?
Excuse me. I definitely agree with Meso. I echo his sentiments, and I think that the entire journey has been remarkably transformative, and Bionicle is a very unique theme. And I might not necessarily agree that I want to see Bionicle G3, at least not right now, but I'm open to it. And if it does happen, of course I'm going to be there. I'm going to be involved in the community in some capacity and trying to be at the forefront of news and product releases and being a part of that excitement. So I'm curious to see what takes place now and see what's next.
04 is the worst
Yeah.
year and the worst movie.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, now you want to make this a fight. Is that it, Meso? It's
Yes.
2v1.
Thank you so much for joining us together in this first episode of the TTV Paint Podcast interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I look forward to part 2.
So in this, we're gonna make a little spoiler. We're gonna speak about the history of TTV and the relationship with the fan base. See you the next time in his favorite channel.
Goodbye.
Bye.